everyone. So today we have Professor Dr. Xueming Zhong. So first of all, I want to let you give introduction about her educational background. So she has done a very amazing 2 bachelor's degree from East China University of Science and Technology, Shanghai, China, in English, as well as bachelor's in biochemistry in 1991 and 1992. Later on, she moved to USA, where she has done master's in molecular biology, completed in 1997. And after all, then she also switched for PhD, where she completed from Boston University School of Medicine in immunology. And also she has completed her postdoctoral fellow research experience also in immunology, which she completed in 2005. Moreover, she has a wonderful experiences with having membership with a member of American Association of the Advancement of Science, as well as member of American Association of Allergy and Immunology, also member American Heart Association, and member of the Boston Nutrition and Obesity Research Center. She has talked at a variety of scientific talks. She has more than amazing 10 scientific publications and also submitted 2 applications for patent. Also, she has an amazing journey of having research awards and honors, as well as enormous professional teaching and mentoring experiences. Moreover, she has recently authored a great book by which I really got inspired from her and get into connection. The title of that book is The Joy of Letting Go of Your Biomedical Career, where she talked about amazing journey of her career transition. And recently she is founding the Medicine Jetty Academy at HOE Holistic Wellness Liability Limited Company. So let's talk to Dr. Xueming Zhong to know about her amazing journey life. And welcome, Dr. Zhong, to our session. And first of all, I want to say thanks for sparing some of your precious time.
Thank you, Mohammed. It's really nice to be here to talk to you. And I'm looking forward to really discuss about the issues that you care and your audience care about.
So first of all, actually, I want to know, having all of this amazing educational career experiences, what were the reasons for quitting this biomedical career? Because nowadays the young generation is really enthusiastic for this kind of splendid biomedical career. So what were the reasons behind for quitting those medical career?
First of all, I want to talk a little bit about the word of quitting.
Yeah.
I know people think differently when they hear the word quitting. When I wrote the book, and I did use the word quitting, and I know people will get stirred up with this word. So I want to explain a little bit. The word quitting to me, as it on the book title, is not about giving up.
Okay.
It's about letting go and upgrade.
Cool.
So it's very different than you give up. What you do not give up is your dream. And the same dream when I took on this biomedical career path.
Okay.
The dream never changed. It is about upgrading. And once I wrote an article after the book, because people was very confused about the word quitting, so I said, do not quit your job when you hate it the most. Quit your job when you love it the most.
Okay.
So this is the reason I quit, is because I really love it. I love the science I do. I love mentoring students. And this is what I love, get me to decide it's time to move on to a different path, a different route.
So, I mean, that's really bit confusing. That you said that if a person has to give up, not give up, quitting or having transition when someone love it. So was it means easy task, and what problem you had faced while doing so, and how you tackled all of those problems while having this kind of transition to quit the job when you really love it?
Yeah, good question. So most people quit their job when they hate it.
Yeah.
You know, the workplace, a toxic workplace environment, you know, relationship with colleagues at workplace, and things doesn't work with, you know, their jobs and projects and or anything. So I experienced many of the obstacles people have these days in the biomedical field. I will talk about that later.
Yeah.
But when you have that kind of mixed situation, and then when you want to quit and move on to a different job, and imagine that just taking a different job will change everything that you experienced.
Yeah.
And that really happens. And if you have a hardship in this job and then you quit and find another job, you probably over time will get into a same pattern of issues that you experienced before. So in order to move on to a job or a career that will not have these issues, you have to go through this period, which I coach most people, my clients do, is to really resolve the issue first, and then you move on. And then you have a totally different career, which is upgraded. Basically, you have to upgrade yourself before you get down to the upgraded job or career. So that's what I mean. So the process is really about loving what you do. Focus on why you love your job, not why you hate your job. And from that loving place, you can upgrade. You can never upgrade when you focus on what you do not like in your job. So for example, what I love in my job is the research. It's fantastic career that you can learn anything. And you can come up with any hypothesis. And then you can design your experiment to prove or disapprove. It doesn't matter. It's to know the truth that you are curious about, right? Like, immunology, cancer, like what's the cure? Like you can fascinate anything about it and design your way to explore and discover what's the wonderful nature was designed for us, right? And that's the beauty of, that's what I love. And I always come up with, fantastic ideas and hypotheses, and I'm so passionate, and also mentoring my students is really my, the core of me, what I'm interested and compassionate about. So I really enjoy those things. Now, I do encounter a whole area of difficulties.
Yeah.
One is the funding difficulty.
Yeah.
Like you have to apply funding, and after 2008, things get so tight, and you pretty much like only 1 out of 10 grant applications got funded.
Yeah.
And 90% don't, and you just struggle. And then do what? You have to change your proposal, trying to get to the 10%.
Yeah.
And when you change that, you change your tactics, you change your project, you change your direction, just trying to see where the money is, right? And that's ruined what my true passion is. Yeah. Like I can explore anything. I can trying to design, experiment to do any of research. But that funding situation, the systemic structure, limit my passion. Okay. So I have to follow other people's, vision and what their interest is, what the society want to learn, right? And right now, like the coronavirus pandemic, and everyone start to, study the virus, that's where the money is. I'm not saying it shouldn't. It's good, like we need to do it. But it deviates you. So now you focus on what you love, and then you ask yourself, how can I resolve this? Right? How can I still do what I love, to do research and mentoring students, but without the limitation of the structure?
So where do you think the people having means you had an amazing career in the educational. People used to have dreams to study in Massachusetts, Boston Medical School, and these kind of institutes. So you had those career, and you're talking about there are kind of funding issues or these kind of issues. So person having young graduates who are pursuing that career, there is a lot of competition for sure nowadays. So people who are combating in the same situation as you have gone through, so for sure there is surety of the anxiety problems, nervousness, and family disturbance problems, and all kind of these issues. So how a person should have to have a very comfortable life by which he is secured, having a nice future in terms of financial stability, as you said, also a freedom of doing research whatever he wants. If you are not in the 10% of those category, means you are not free to do whatever you want to do. So it always creates anxiety and these kind of things. So what do you suggest to the people of having in the same zone you have gone through? Either they also have to find another transition in their life by which they should have to feel comfortable, or what strategies you can suggest them?
Yeah, this is really good questions. And I do feel, this, especially people graduate this year.
Yeah.
And it's such a historical period to graduate into. And you really have to think clearly all those questions you have asked. And my suggestion would be just read my book.
Yeah.
Go through that 7 steps that I laid out in the book. This is exactly what I went through to get myself total clarity of what to do, and not too distracted by what the society and what the family, what friends would expect you to do, or what they are going to say or think about what your choice is. Like, just have to put all these aside and then to think clearly, what do you really want? So I laid out step by step in my book, and any of your audience, if they want to read my book, I would love to send you the book for free. I don't know if you want me to talk about the 7 steps, or
it will come up later. So our next, we want to know that how this idea came up to write a book. Means you had very tangible thoughts, you were going through from very strange situations in this journey. So how this idea came up that you should have to compile a book to either your motto was to disseminate the experiences you had got to the other people, or what was the motivation behind writing this book?
So I always wanted to help people, and what I went through is really, I think, like you experience, a lot of people graduate from schools and looking for jobs, and even those who are already in the job, and physicians are having burnout issues, and a lot of them approach me to ask, and my colleagues, I see them. They are wonderful people and contribute a lot to the science, but they're not happy and they're not healthy. And ironically, we are the people want to bring happiness and want to bring health to this world, right? And so I just want to help people to get clarity on how to upgrade their career experience. And that's why I want to have some way of let the message out. And a book is definitely one of the way to, get my message out.
Great. So what do you think, what were the obstacles in making up your mind while you were writing this amazing book?
The obstacles is definitely the commitment, the investment of money and time into this. And you have to have a strong will to do this. Otherwise, you just can't write a book. And people wanted to write a book for all their lives, but you have to really sit down and commit to yourself. Otherwise, you cannot complete this task.
Okay. So, and what do you think? What are the key features of this book? Means a general message which you can spread to the audience. That what you can means give a general message from this book.
The general message of this book is like what I mentioned, is not thinking about quitting. And a lot of people, when they have hardship in their career or job and they want to quit, but they have this burden of stigma of quitting or changing as if they're a failure, as if they're not capable of success, like what other people in their job doing, like the top 10%. If you don't get to the top 10%, you think you're a failure. It is not. It is not. As a matter of fact, the clients that I coached, they are brilliant people, and they just outgrow their job. Sometimes it's a mixed feeling. You feel like you want to leave this job. It's actually a good sign because you actually outgrew this situation. It's time for you to upgrade, but you kind of confuse the thinking, I'm not successful. So I want people going through my book to learn you're not failure. You're not successful. You're actually more successful than probably those 10% because you can feel something, it got to be different. The whole system needs to be upgraded, to be, transformed. And that's sometimes, it's confused as if you are not as good. It's not. I'm not talking about everyone, but there are significant amount of people who are thinking about quitting is not because they're a failure, they're not successful. It's because they have a bigger dream. They have like a bigger calling for them. And this is the people I want to help with.
And what do you think, Dr. Zhong, that a person having, for example, a medical background and he has studied all of his academic years in medical science and these kind of things, due to any compulsion, maybe his parents love this kind of career, do want to see him doctor or engineer or this kind of profession. And after a while, when he gets into the professional life and job situation, and he doesn't like the burden of life and the pressuring situation and these kind of things, and if he want to change his profession at that point, so because at that point he is having a family issues as well, because he is trying to establish his family or he has family and he want to disrupt those situations by having a financial issues at that time. So what person should have to do in those situations when trying to switch his profession, because he won't have any expertise in other profession? So what you will suggest to those kind of people that want to switch at that time?
Yeah, those are good questions. And I have similar experience, like family expectations and financial commitment. It's huge.
Yeah.
Almost all my clients went through this. Like one of my clients, she is a cardiologist and very successful, but she felt it's time to do a different calling, and she no longer feels it's a different situation. And the most struggle she had was with her mother because like all these years your parents supported you, they want you to have the best life, being a doctor, and now you don't want to be a doctor anymore. And it was so much burden on her. And she started to feel depressed. And after we went through all the steps that we talk about in the book, and things start to clear and light up. And she has to put down her mother's opinion down, on the side. And so get clear what she wants and get clear what can be upgraded. And once we went through that, and she has the vision and have that faith, which is a cliche to say it, but it is very empowering picture. We built the future basically for her before the future actually realized.
Okay.
And then she has to embody herself as if she already have that. She already have that future dream career. She already have that future dream career financially supported her. Okay. And then when you live into that future, now when you look back at what you had, the old job, old career, it's a no-brainer to switch. And then she actually literally quit her job before all the future actually happened. Most people cannot do that. Like, I have to have that check. I have to do the next check before I leave this job, right? And because that empowering, she can do that. And because that envision, she manifested that future into her life. And she got the next job, which doubled her previous job income and can fulfill her dream. Okay. And then she talked to her mother, even though her mother's big ego would say, like, I don't think, but inside she was like happy. And when she got to the next job, her mother was so happy for her. So that is the process I want everyone to experience.
Great. So basically, what I've extracted from today's talk, that a person should have also mentally brave before doing these kind of transition or doing these kind of things, because when a person is mentally not brave and he is not able to take these kind of initiatives, rather than to ruining his life mentally by torturing him continuously, he or she should have to be very brave, so that there should be a positive outcomes in not in his life, but his positivity will also impact his generation, his family, and these kind of things. So a person should have to be mentally brave before taking these kind of nice initiatives.
Right. So I think this word, bravery, is such a, a thing that we always talk about it, but not showing up in this word. Everywhere you see is fear. Yeah. And our mind, our vision, everything was dominated by fear. When we look around, we all see is something that scares us. And if you are surrounded by that and you get yourself surrounded by that, then you cannot have the power to be brave. You cannot just blindly say, I want to be brave, let me do it. Bravery comes with wisdom, comes with vision. Without vision, without wisdom, that bravery will only kill you. It's not going to help you to the next level. So you have to retrieve your bravery, have to be backed by a clear vision and by a clear wisdom from your higher self. And then you can have the true bravery to move on.
Oh, that's a really amazing message you have given, that when a person will become brave when he or she will have clear vision of his future, that he want to achieve this goal, and when he will be clear about his vision, then the obstacles, whatever come into his life, he will be brave enough by her inside or his inside to combat all of those situations. Really amazing message from you, Dr. Zhong. So thank you so much for your time to have such a nice experiences share with us. And hope so we will have very nice, fruitful series of sessions with you again in coming days. Thank you.